Hello, hello. Happy Wellness Wednesday, everybody. Kathy's like dancing, she's grooving.
Yeah, I still hear it.
I'm still here.
Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday, and it's beautiful outside. And I need to get out in the sun today.
Yeah,
I
it is
really
really
do.
nice
I need to
outside.
get out there. So, how you doing, Crystal?
Doing well, doing well.
Yeah,
Good day
yeah, yeah,
today.
yeah. So, you guys, we're gonna have a wonderful couple of guests today. I'm really excited about today because everybody deals with this situation. You may feel like you've heard it a million times, but it's always good to hear something more than once because you can get a different perspective on it
Mm-hmm.
and the science behind it and
Yep.
the reasoning behind it. And when you have more than one person talking about it from two different perspectives, it's it makes it more of a puzzle that's being put together instead of puzzle pieces. So
Yeah.
that's why we're having these two people on today. But as we always start, we start with Miss Crystal's amazing, wonderful miracle of a testimony because she's still here with us, guys. And I'm so glad. So, Crystal, can you tell us what we do, why we do this, your personal testimony, and just bless us with your story.
All right, all right. Well, I'm a holistic health coach and an herb specialist, and Kathy here is a mentor and herbalist. She's doing very well, by the way, you guys. Kathy's come a long way, man. She's learned so much. um, and she's able to teach people and educate people, and I love it. And the reason I started off doing this, like back in the past, was because I was diagnosed with something called ulcerative colitis when I was 18, and I had two flare-ups, 18 and 24. Both times I lost about 30 pounds in 1 month. The second time it was just worse because you know what? I was older, of course, and I've been through it, already before, so it's damaging again. And I ended up in the hospital, and they talked about chemo and surgery and all kinds of things, different medications, being on them for the rest of my life. And I was 24 at that time, and I thought it was time to take things seriously. When I was 18, I didn't take it too seriously. And when I was 24 and it happened again, I was on my deathbed basically. And it took a toll on me. And at that time, I was single mom in it, and it was rough. And so I had to take my health into serious hands, and which was my hands. And I learned to change my diet, my lifestyle. I got a hold of our naturopathic doctor. She taught me many things, among other people. And um, and from that point on, I just started getting certified for stuff and learning things. And I'm like, I've got to help the world because my body started to heal. It started to
Yay.
change my life without
Yeah.
medications and things. Now, I did try the medications for a little bit, but they didn't work. They just made things worse. And that's why I knew I had to use the holistic route, body, mind, and soul, using herbs and changing my diet and meditating and praying and just changing my mindset. And and so from that point on, my body started to heal, and I had to get the word out. And so me and Kathy kind of have the same mindset with health. We want to help people naturally, holistically, and show them that there's more ways than just taking medications for the rest of your life, or
Yeah.
being sick all the time, or not knowing, what it's like to feel good. And we want to show that you have to feel good. So through natural ways, and our body can do wonderful things and heal on its own. So we want to spread the education and whole food nutrition and detox, and that's what we talk about a lot. So
And I encourage you guys to please look up ulcerative colitis. It's so easy to just hear her say that in the first 5, 10 minutes of this program, but it's way, 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 way more severe than what she's saying. I mean, look up the symptoms and look up actually what she's talking about. Why they were going to do chemo on her is beyond my imagination.
yeah,
I don't understand the chemo side of it because chemo kills everything. It doesn't just kill
yeah,
the
it
bad
compromises your immune system, and yeah, you got to
it
be.
compromises your immune system and everything. And I just don't understand the chemo side of that. I know that she was on pumped with steroids. Steroids are not the best either.
Yeah,
And so it's just a lot of evasive, like really harsh things that she had to go through to get her to just get her functional. And then when she
yeah,
got functional, she was eating the same way. Nobody told her not to eat the same way.
yeah, yeah,
And so when she figured it out with the naturopathic doctor, then things started changing. That was a lifestyle change. It wasn't just I'm just going to stop this one thing. It has to be for the rest of the life, because I tell you what, if she ate the same way and drank the same things as she did prior to this, she'd go right back into that crisis. It's called a health crisis, by the way.
Yep.
And she'd go right back into it. So it's a lifestyle change, you guys. We all have to figure it out for ourselves.
Right.
That's why we're here.
It was gradual too. It wasn't all at once. You know, it was gradual. Like I didn't always eat gluten-free. I didn't always eat dairy-free, you know. Gluten was probably the first thing that was taken out of my diet because that's what hurt me the most. So yeah.
There's so much stuff gluten's in, you guys. Oh my goodness.
Almost everything. Yeah.
Almost everything. So, and actually the food has come a long way in the last 20.
Yeah, there's a lot of options now that are gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, paleo, you name it, grain-free.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought that I'd give up things like bacon. And I don't even eat bacon anymore.
I know, right?
It does bother my body. And all was it nitrates?
Nitrates and nitrites, you know, even hormones.
They're not good for you guys.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I'd give up sugar, and I can't eat it anymore because I know what it does to the body.
So it's good though that you're not eating that. You know, that's one of the best things you can cut out of your diet. Sugar causes so much inflammation in the body and pain.
And dairy. And ice cream was my best friend, and you can't do it no more, Kathy. You just can't do it.
There's alternatives too. You know what I mean?
There are.
So you can always have that as a treat once in a while, you know, in moderation.
Yeah, if it doesn't fight your body back. So sometimes it can fight your body, and you like it ain't
worth it. Say no to it. If it's not good for you, you have to say no to it. You know, you got to care about your body more than you do about the junk that you're putting in it.
Yeah, I have noticed though, when you do reintroduce food that you've taken out of your body will let you know this is not good. You shouldn't be doing this. So pay attention to your bodies.
Absolutely.
And we always tell you guys, doctors are there for a reason. Do not discount your doctors. Go get your baseline blood work. Go get your baseline everything that you need to get from the doctor. Get it. Come to your naturopathic doctor, or even talk to Crystal and I, and we can get you on the right path to get your blood sugars correct, or your joint discomfort correct, or even your mental
balance,
capacity. All of that can get back into balance, and that's what we're here for. And part of the mental part of that is what we're going to talk to today. So we're going to have two guests today. One is Lauren Barnes, who's here every first Wednesday of the month, and then Salazar. She is a wonderful another naturopathic healer in the spiritual sense, in the biomagnetic sense, in the science sense of it all. So we're going to bring these two people on so we can have our discussion. Hello.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Excuse me, guys.
I'm so excited to have everybody on today. It's going to be a great talk.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Let me just put this up a little more. All right.
Okay, so LeBron, say that again. I don't think I heard you.
No, I was just saying, absolutely. It is good. Okay. It's good to be on here. I'm telling you, like always, it is good to see you wonderful ladies, and you always add so much value to this conversation. So I'm looking forward to where we're going today with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's today's subject matter, Ms. Crystal? Let's go ahead and tell them with that.
All right. So mindset and changing our inner dialogue. I think LaRon and Soul have such a good, like, a variety of what they're going to tell us, because they both can, I think they can float off of each other, you know. They work well together, even though they haven't worked together yet, you know what I mean? I've seen, because I remember Soul commenting when LaRon was on one time, and they were just, you know, they were just having it was just making the show really lively, and I just loved it.
Thank you. Well, thank you for making this happen and bringing us together at the same time. I thought it was awesome. I really enjoyed the show that you guys had with him. So I'm really happy to be here.
I would like to ask LaRon, people may not have heard your testimony before. And I asked you last time you were on, well, let's just start with your testimony. Go on and tell me about that why your inner dialogue why it was there first, and then why you changed it. And then I'm gonna ask the same thing of you, Soul. So think of your answer while he's doing his.
No, absolutely, and I absolutely love the question. Can you all hear me pretty well?
Yeah. Hmm.
That's excellent. Some of you heard the story. In elementary, I was told by my teacher, Miss Smith, that I was ADHD, ADD, and had a learning disability. So for most of my life, I believed that something was wrong with me. I believed that I was dumb, I was stupid, I couldn't learn, and it was because of the individuals what they said to me and how I trusted them, and I believed that they knew more about me than I knew about me, and so it wasn't it was what they said, not so much of what they said, but what I believed that they said and how I internalized what they said, which made me act how they said I was. And so as a result of that, I said, one day I'll say, you know what? I felt that there was still something deep inside of me. I said, even though I was put these labels on me, I was told by different people, even outside of that situation, I didn't want to accept it. It was like a battle. I didn't want to accept that I was dumb. I said, though I was told these things, something that's inside of me is greater. I just have to figure out how to get to it. So I went on a journey of self-discovery. Who am I? What am I doing here? And so I began to read books. I began to read the SAT books and looking up definitions. I believe because I heard that smart people read. Smart people read and listen to other smart people. So I began to read books and go on a journey of self discovery, and began to tell myself that I was more than enough. And even me telling myself that for some time, it took some time for me even to believe it. I had to see myself achieving certain things. I had to see it as I began to tell myself it. And I never wanted anyone to feel that way again. I never wanted anyone to feel inadequate, incapable, as if they weren't good enough. So that's what actually made me become a motivational speaker. Like, listen, I was able to push past the limiting beliefs. I was able to push past my own mind, and you can do the same. So here I am, motivating, inspiring, and changing the lives of many.
I love it.
Love it.
Love
Great.
that.
Yeah.
So, Salazar, tell us your story, lady.
Oh man. All right. So I'm going to keep it simple and I'm going to
Okay.
keep it short and sweet.
Yes.
I think that because I honestly, when you go through different stages, you
Yes.
come to realize, especially when you're in that self-discovery and journey of self-mastery, right? You
Correct.
begin to see back and you're like, look at everything. Look, now I notice this. Now I notice that. And that's really where that if I only knew then what I know now comes in, right?
Yes.
But then we wouldn't live life and that wouldn't be experience, right? So what I had to come when I finally got to this point in my life where I knew that my life had to change. It was like, yeah, that was pretty much rock bottom for me. I think that I knew that what I knew that far was not good enough. I knew that I was not happy with my life up to that point. I knew that everything in my life had to change. And it just wasn't one thing. It was like everything, right? And so the same thing that he said, if you want to learn something, go to the people that you inspire to be like, that you're looking towards, the people that are actually living that good life, that are actually living in those positive vibrations and not just on screen. Okay. Like really living them. Because people like glorify famous people, celebrities and things like that, but don't realize internally they're suffering, and when it comes to what we're speaking about right now, inner dialogue, self-talk, guys, you don't even realize how much you bash yourself on a daily basis. Like most of us have no idea. We do something real quick. That was so stupid. I'm so stupid. Real quick.
Exactly.
You didn't realize that you just gave your mind a command. You just told yourself a command. I'm stupid. Anything after I am is a command to your body. Right. And so this is what you are reiterating to yourself. So if you start to pay attention on a daily, which is what I had to do, right? I had to start paying attention to how I'm speaking and what I'm saying. And it became so important, it became so critical to start changing these things and immediately start changing the command that I'm giving to my body. And it also became important to give myself affirmations because I was not used to that type of talk. You know, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am wise, you know, like that helped me begin noticing all the bad self-talk that I was doing, because affirmations, like I got to sit here and tell myself good things. Yeah, you do. Because unfortunately, we don't hear it enough, right? Nobody's sitting here telling us all these beautiful things every day, right? And we have to tell it to ourselves. And not only that, but we also have to command our body that this is what we are. If this is the truth that we're walking in and that we're speaking by, then we need to be that, right? And we need to enforce that within ourselves. So this, you know, I am is what has gotten me from who I was to who I am.
Let me tell you something. When I was a little girl, I don't even know when this song came out. It empowered me. It was called "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud" by James Brown.
Yeah.
That song empowered me. And I'd never heard a song like that before. And there were little kids saying it in the background. And I'm like, I'm a little kid. I can say I'm black and I'm proud and be black and proud. And that changed a chemical reaction in my brain. Because I can still feel that little kid right now saying, I'm black and I'm proud.
Yeah.
It made me proud of who I am. Yeah. At 59 years old, I can still feel I'm black and I'm proud as a little girl. And so that was a positive. But there's so many negatives that throw at us every day, all day long. You know what? The word says, renew your mind every day.
Right.
Renew your mind every day. That means wash away all that stuff that has been bombarding you, including you.
Especially you.
Especially you, because you're the only one to live with you, and you're the only one that knows what's going on inside this head of yours. Stop it and renew your mind. Give yourself a new start. That's why God gives us mercies every morning. I love that scripture. Because if he can give us new mercies every morning, why can't we give it to ourselves?
You know, I want to make a statement. One of the things that I do that helps me with my self-talk is I have an app on my phone called Self-Talk Pro. And what it does, it's code. And when I say it's code, it's categorized with different, help you be organized. It helps you in your relationships. It tells you who and what you are. And I am prosperous. I am successful. But how it does it, you all got to check it out. Self-Talk Pro. And yeah, I'm not trying to advertise it, but it's y'all, I'm telling you, blew my mind. And to where it actually helped me to become organized, because when I was out of alignment with being organized, those words kept coming to my head. I'm like, I'm organized and in control of my life. That's what it says. I'm organized and in control of my life. I'm like, I am organized and in control of my life. You know, I get things done when they need to be done. Like, it says stuff like that. And so I begin to program my mind. And that's what our mind is. It's like a computer system. And we are programming it. We either are programming it with updating it with positive information or negative information. But one thing I tell people, you can never act outside of alignment with what you tell yourself.
Right.
If you tell yourself, one thing that used to happen to me is I used to have a very bad memory because I used to say I have a bad memory. I remember I used to lose my keys all the time. I used to lose everything. And I used to say, man, I keep forgetting. I forget. I don't got a good memory. I didn't understand that I was making myself forget things. But what I end up doing was I end up switching that conversation. I'm like, I don't lose things. I'm very good at this. I don't lose things. And I start telling myself things. And what happened was, I kid you not, it really did shift. I don't lose things that much. I don't really lose things. Like, I genuinely don't lose things, guys. And it's because I began to tell myself that I was organized and in control, and I know where I'm putting things. And so our inner dialogue, let me say this. Our life, hear me, is a result of our inner dialogue. Mm-hmm. Our life is. Who we are is a result of what we've been telling ourselves. And one thing I tell people, It's not what they tell you, but it's what you tell yourself, what you believe about yourself. And when you begin to repeat what someone else tells you, all you're doing is programming your mind to believe that is you. And so, what are one of the ways that we can help ourselves from negative programming? And I say this a lot because it's so important. Who are you letting influence you? And what are you listening to as well as who? That's
Right.
why my circle is so short and small. I'm not going to be around you if you're only saying negative things.
Right.
Mhm.
And I'll say this, and I'll leave it on. I'll say this, that here's the thing. Whew, you got to hear me. And I said this before. People get it confused, and they don't understand the importance of this. It's not what it is, but it's what you say it is. And if you say it is what it is, and I'm just speaking what it is, that's what it's going to be. And so many people think being realistic is being positive. No, you can be realistically negative
Right.
because that's what your mind is. You hear what I'm saying? And so your words have power. See, the Bible even says, my favorite book says that life and death is in the power of the tongue. You can kill yourself spiritually by what you say, or
Mm-hmm.
you can bring yourself to life. You can bring yourself out of a negative situation, or you can make yourself down, keep yourself down in the slump. It's all about what you say and what you're telling yourself. So don't get caught up on, I'm just being realistic, because you can
Yeah.
be realistically negative or realistically positive. Life is what you perceive. Life is your perception. And I choose to perceive life in a positive light. Because if there's something negative on one side, there's also something positive on another.
Now, I'd like to piggyback off that. Um, everything that he's saying, listen, by all means, guys, yes, absolutely. But I want you to also understand something else, right? Because it's something that we could say from the mouth out, right? And then what we have up here, right? And understand, it's the id, the ego, the super ego, right? You guys, conscious, subconscious, super conscious. If you're saying something, but in your heart, you don't believe it, you are giving yourself that command, the one that you have in here. Okay. So when you speak, look, something that worked for me, I'm going to give you guys this advice. Something that worked for me, look in the mirror. All right. Start looking in the mirror. Look literally through your soul. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Look in your eyes. All right. And you will feel the difference. And when you're really speaking into yourself, all right, you will feel the difference. Look in that mirror and tell yourself what you want for yourself. And I don't want you to just say it like, I am beautiful. Like, I want you to believe it. I want it to sink into your soul. All right. And that consists of you not paying attention to this outside world that has showed us what they think is beautiful. All right. Or what they believe is smart, or what they believe is this or that or whatever, right? That's their opinions. And a lot of people have based themselves and judged themselves constantly on what the world tells you need to be or look like. Okay.
Those labels that they place on us.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
The conditioning.
Yeah,
Right.
and that conditioning. Oh, there you go, Crystal. That conditioning could be very detrimental, and
We're conditioned
we
from the
have to work
moment.
through that. Yeah, go ahead,
From the
Crystal.
moment we're born. I asked my daughter, because I watched this thing. Sorry, I have a relay. I don't know if someone's mic is super loud, but maybe if you guys can mute just for a second. I don't know. But I asked my daughter, because I did this test just to see if she was already conditioned. And I said, if you can finish my sentence, you're probably already conditioned to believe it. And I said, money doesn't grow on
Trees.
And if you can finish my sentence, you have been conditioned to believe that. And so I was like, from that point on, when she did, she was really young and she finished my sentence. Like, she was like 6 or 7, I think. Wow. And I said, I don't know how. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was someone around us. Yeah. And I was like, this has to change. Right. I can't have her have a poverty mindset, because I will tell you, I had a poverty mindset for a long time, and it's the way I grew up. and things like that, and always saying, you know, I don't have the money for things. I don't have the money for this. Like, I had those words come out of my mouth because I heard it from someone in my life.
Right.
And there was a time where I had, I think, less than $20 in my bank account, and I had to have that last for a whole week. And I was like, this has to change. And it kept, my bank kept going back down to $20 only. I'm like, oh my gosh, this has to change. And I've had money before, but I don't have it. I didn't have it then. I was like, if I've had it before, I can get it again. And so I started talking. I had to watch motivational videos, YouTube, whatever it took. I had to start reading things. I had to start saying exactly what you're talking about. You know, I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am, you know, I am. Now I'm gonna, because I'm gonna, you still lack. I want, I still lack. So I choose and I am are the words I started using. And I started taking like little steps, making my bed every day. That helped me be productive and get things done, you know. It's just little steps like that. And you know what? I no longer, I have way more than $20 in my account. I don't worry about finances anymore. It's flowing in abundantly. What I need and what I want, I already have. That's how I speak. It's there. It may not be in my hands right now sometimes, but it's already there and on its way to me because it's already here. It just has to, sometimes there's a process for things. And we have to learn and we have to grow. And sometimes things are hard and we get uncomfortable and we have to go through those things because God or the universe or however you want to say it waits till the time for you're ready for it. And you have to, the way you get ready is you start talking to yourself in a better way. You stop talking all that self-doubt, that self-negativity. You have to change that mindset because you're not going to get the things you want and the things that you need until you start growing.
It's so comfortable, or it's so, okay, self-talk and the negativity that we, like, just like Soul said, I'm so stupid. Like, people don't realize that that's a negative thing. So you need somebody in your life, you guys, to say, hey, what did you just say? And I told you who started that off with me. It was my niece. I used to say stuff about myself all the time. And she'd be like, Auntie, I wish you would stop saying that. You're not ugly. You're not this. You're not dumb. You're not that. And I'm like, okay. I mean, she made me start thinking about what I was saying to myself because hearing it was worse than me saying it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, she knew I wasn't those things. And so for me to keep saying it to her was bothering her because you're not that way. You're not that person. You're not. So why do you keep saying that about yourself? Our self-belief is huge. And we need to branch out of what we believe in ourselves and kind of start looking at how other people look at us, not in a way of people that you trust. Number one, you got to trust the people. You can't just, listen
to anybody's comments.
You can't just listen to anybody. No, you got to trust.
It, LaRon. Watch who you listen to.
Well, yeah. Also, because you don't want to listen to someone who hasn't been there yet or hasn't accomplished that. Like for instance, if I want to be an entrepreneur, I'm not going to listen to someone who's working a 9 to 5. I'm sorry. And
yeah, I'm talking about self-talk though. I'm not talking about status. I'm talking about somebody that knows you're not dumb and will say to you, you're not dumb.
Well,
I'm talking about somebody that can help you change your inner dialogue, because that's important. That's where it begins. You can't have a wealthy mindset without this being in the same spot.
Right.
So this has to be elevated. It has to be evolved. It has to be taught. And you have to get out of that comfortableness of being that person, because it is comfortable to stay right where you are. Right. It's a breaking away. It's a tearing it down. It's it's evolving. Right. Like, I bet you butterflies hurt when they come out of that cocoon. Nobody can say that. Nobody knows that. But I bet you that is painful to go from a caterpillar to a butterfly. You can't tell me any different. It has to be painful. It has to be.
Well, so it's like growing pains. Growing pains are painful when you start to grow, like as a child.
Exactly.
People have to recognize this first, though, and it takes for somebody that does care about them to actually bring this to their attention. Because for years, come on, hello, I'm 37 now. Like, I didn't notice this until I was 34, guys. This is when my journey began. So at the end of the day, it takes somebody to really, or for you to really say, all right, I don't care, I got to change, right? So it's, but that decision has to be made, right? Where you start to acknowledge it, because then it starts coming into your conscious mind.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I caught myself, right? And when you do, I want you to change it immediately, right? Say the opposite command. No, I didn't mean that, man. I'm intelligent as hell. All right? Like, seriously. Because then you're giving that command.
Yeah. LaRon totally, he was like, Kathy, I saw how you switched that. I see how you turned that. And it took him to tell me, like, we had conversations like, that's negative. I'm like, what's negative about that? What you talking about? That ain't negative.
Because we're so used to it. We
grew
up like this.
Exactly. Right. So tell me what happens. Tell me what happens in the brain, soul.
Well, the thing about this is that automatically, kind of like I was explaining, if we say certain things, remember, every thought is attached to an emotion, right?
Right.
Every emotion is attached to some type of hormone or neurochemical that you're releasing to produce that emotion throughout your body. So if this is the case, understand that everything has power, right? I'll give you the perfect example. The water, I say this all the time, right? Because I'm in love with that water experiment, or the flower one, whichever you want to go to. But the power of words, the positivity, right? That changes.
Well, explain to them the water and explain to them the flower.
Okay.
Especially the flower one. That's a more visual one.
Okay. So, well, actually, if they see the video, the water one is really visual as well, because so guys, there was this experiment that he did on water, right? Water molecules. And basically, one was taken out from a pond. There was beautiful words written on it, beautiful, just empowering words written all over that bottle, right? And so the water was inflected with that energy, right? Now, there was another one, not so good. We put angry words on that. Because I did the experiment as well. I'm a nerd. I love science. I'm looking under molecule. I want to see it under a microscope too. Like, I want the whole scenario, right? See? Yes. So I had to do it myself as well. And guess what?
I think I lost her just for a second. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, we did. We lost her. There you go.
There we go. There's your mic.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm like, no, don't call me right now. Sorry. So what happened was the water that was positive, looked beautiful. So the way for us to be able to look at it under a microscope was freezing it. Okay. So we grabbed a little piece of the ice and we put it under a microscope. And when you looked at it, it was beautiful. It was like a beautiful snowflake.
Yeah, it was
like a beautiful snowflake, right? That's the best way to describe it. When you looked at the negative one,
it was like this.
Man, it was disgusting. You don't even want to be touched with that water. You're like, get that away from me, please.
Yeah.
That's that water when you look like, have you ever looked in a river or something? It got that gook right on the side.
Yeah.
Like,
or there's backwash in a cup that your kid just drank out of.
That's what we don't want. All right.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is the power of words. All right. Also, the plant, this little girl, and mind you, she was a little girl, and she did this experiment. One plant she spoke life into, literally. And this is how powerful words are. She told it was beautiful. She spoke loving words to it, always expressed her gratitude towards it, her love for it, how beautiful it was. And then to the other plant, she just treated it badly. You are ugly. You're horrible. You don't, nothing. Like, she just gave all the bad annotations to it that you could possibly think of. That plant died. And the bad one. Now, if you have somebody, just like LaRon said, he had this teacher saying all this nonsense to him, right? Feeding him all this nonsense. And he could have allowed that to break him completely. Luckily, he didn't allow it to make it a belief, right?
Yeah.
He didn't choose to make that his own belief. He's like, hell no, there's something better, right? And he chose to rise above that. And so, but when you accept it, and I'll even relate that to myself. When I was in a DV relationship, such a toxic ass relationship, I was, everybody's like, you're so strong and this and that. But this man, I loved him. And he was sitting here just, and I admired him. And I'm like, he's telling me all this stuff where I started doubting myself. Like, holy crap, is this really me?
That's a big clue right there, you guys. When you start doubting yourself,
right.
Get out.
I'm questioning myself, right, after being so strong, right? And here I start taking his words as my beliefs. Guys, I became suicidal. That's how bad it got. And you know what's sad? I know so many out there that are going through the same thing because we've allowed others to tell us who the fuck we are. Excuse me. But
You're
you know,
good.
okay, but seriously, it's that deep. You know what I mean? And until I broke from him and I said, screw that, I'm more than this. I'm meant to be more than this. And I decided who I was going to be and stood in that power. I didn't rebuild myself, guys. And I didn't get out of those thoughts, those beliefs, those standards, right? Yeah. Because if you start to believe something, you start to act in that manner. You know what I mean? And you accept that as your truth. Yeah. You have the power to change this like this. The minute you decide to change your life is the minute everything starts changing for you. Yeah. Yeah. So you decide what truth you want to walk in. Hopefully it's not the negative one. Don't be that dead plant. Be the one that blooms and grows and survives and is beautiful and, you know, growing and, you know, blooms beyond what anybody could possibly expect. Be that.
And I know we said this last week. I think it was Crystal. I can't remember when we said it, but, and LaRon, you can pop in anytime you want. But when you talk negative talk, either talk to the 5-year-old self or talk to a 5-year-old child. If you would not say those things that you say to yourself to those people, your 5-year-old self or your 5-year-old child or a 5-year-old child, don't say it to yourself. You would never tell a child she's fat. You would never tell a child she's stupid. You would never tell a child anything that is negative like that. So why do you say it to yourselves? And I'm speaking to me now because I got to do that. You would never tell a child she's ugly. Come on. Would you do that? No. So if you won't do that, then don't do it to yourself. Right. That's a real good tool because I've had to use it. Go ahead, LaRon.
No, I was thinking about something that Soul said a little bit ago when she began to talk about how about believing in your heart, not just from your head. And one of the ways that you believe in your heart and how you talk to yourself is by saying it with power and conviction. See, it's about the way that you say what you say. If you don't say it with power and conviction, it's not going to resonate inside of your belief system. And many people, they think that they say it haphazardly, you know, casually, you know, because I want to believe it. It's not about what I want to believe. It's about what I do believe. And when we are looking to speak to ourselves, you got to say it like with power and conviction. One thing that I know for sure is because I kept saying it, then I'm a heck of a speaker. I was saying I was a heck of a speaker before I actually got to speak as if I was a heck of a speaker, and that I became a heck of a speaker. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this is before I really had any training. I believe that I can speak really well, and my words were great words of influence. But this is before I even really had any formal training. But I said I'm a heck of a speaker. One thing I used to do is I used to hold a recorder in my hand, and I used to record myself, and I used to say, I said before I did believe that I was a heck of a speaker, what I would do is I would record and say, I'm a powerful speaker, and people love listening to me. I said, people love listening to me. And then here's what you do. When you are using affirmations, hear me. When you are using affirmations, look for the evidence. Most people, they don't look for the evidence. They say what they say and they leave it alone. No, look for the evidence in what you are saying you are. And once we get in to see the evidence that you're seeking, then what it does, it only enhances your belief. Come on now. It makes you feel it. It makes it real. Yes. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. So look for the evidence. If someone's saying something about you and someone that you trust and they're telling you what they see and who you are and you value their opinion, listen to what they're saying. They're not just telling you that because they want you to feel good. They're telling you what they see. And Mr. Brown, you know, one of the greatest, actually, in my opinion, the greatest, not just one of the greatest speakers, motivational speakers of all time, he said, listen, sometimes you have to believe in someone else's belief in you, until your belief kicks in.
Right.
And
Yep.
so if someone's telling you
That's right.
something about yourself and you heard it even more than once, maybe it's just time for you to believe in what they're saying
That's
and
right.
stop taking on the programs that you were programmed with. No one is always trying to tickle your fancy.
Yeah.
No one's always trying to make you feel good about you. Maybe it's real. And that's why we have to know who we have around us so we'll know that these are not people who's just who I don't want to use that word, but I'm gonna say I was gonna call them I
I
was
think
gonna
I
call
think you know,
Yeah.
them, I'm gonna say people who have their nose up your rear end. We'll say
Hmm.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Who only tell you what you need to hear, want to hear, and
Want
it's
to
not
hear.
about that. Come
Yeah.
on, want to hear. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They only tell you what you want to hear. No, you need people around you who is cutthroat, who will tell you, "Hey, you
Constructive
know what? It's
criticism.
just what it is." Come on,
Yeah.
you feel me? Yes.
That's real
And
friends,
so,
yeah.
though. Right.
That's not
real.
afraid. That's
Not afraid, and don't won't lose the friendship because of it. And that's the other
Right.
thing. Don't be afraid, you guys. That's the
Come
reason
on.
why we lose people in our lives, because when we tell them the truth, they can't handle it, and they
Right.
Yeah.
have to go on about their business,
And
and
then
let
you
them go
wrong.
about their business, because you don't need that kind of
Yeah,
that kind of energy around you. Crystal,
yeah.
you have a couple of slides that I really want to get to. I
Mhm.
really do. So can we start with, yeah, go ahead. Are you going to read it for
Yeah,
us?
sure. It says a
Okay.
fixed versus growth, basically mindset. What's the difference between the two? A
Mhm.
fixed mindset is the belief that you are born with a set amount of intelligence and ability, and that there is little to no room for growth. A growth mindset is the belief that you can improve your intelligence and ability through effort and hard work. This mindset isn't afraid of failure. So, what kind of mindset do you have? Ask yourself. Um, I think in the past I didn't have a growth mindset because that's why I was stuck in poverty and things like that. And when I started getting a growth mindset and being open minded to hearing other options, I started to grow, and it was painful and it was uncomfortable, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you have another slide?
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
And then self-care checklist. I think self-care is important. And as we were talking about earlier, self-talk, so I think that's included. Um, Drink some water first thing in the AM. That's always good for our health. We need to include our health into this
Yeah.
too, because it's self-care. Write down 5 things every day that didn't totally suck. Um, think about a few good things and write those things down, whatever you can. Make a menu for the week. Pay attention to what you're eating and putting in your body. A lot of times when we're stressed and upset, we'll eat snacks that aren't very healthy for us, which full of sugar, carbs, and different things that can make our stomach hurt, or and when our gut isn't healthy, our mind isn't healthy. So it's important to make sure that maybe prepping or making a menu for the week of what you're going to eat, so you eat right and don't grab for things that aren't healthy. Move for at least 30 minutes a day. And if you're not used to having exercise or moving, just start off with 5 to 10 minutes a day and work your way up to 30 minutes. But it's good to move your body. It helps your lymphatic system. It helps your immune system. It helps helps your circulation, and it can help improve sleep, all kinds of stuff.
And if you can get out in the sunshine, please do it.
Absolutely. We need that
Please
vitamin
do
D.
it. Mm-hmm.
And then listen
So
to good music. Not all music we like. Just find something that you like and that uplifts you and makes you feel good. Get out of that sad music after a breakup. You don't need to stick in that forever, or whatever you're going through. Just put something on good and that uplifts your spirit. And then exercise, like we said, it says move for 30 minutes a day and exercise. I think those go hand in hand. But just make sure you're moving around. Any movement is good. Whatever the one that you'll do. And then read a book, like we were talking about earlier. Reading a book can improve your mind. It can expand it. It can open it. You can learn more things, and it's always good to keep the mind moving and growing. And then try something new. There's things that sometimes we're always set in our ways, and maybe it's a food. Maybe you don't like very many vegetables. Try a new vegetable today. That's something good you could do for yourself. And then have a family dinner. I think it's really important to eat together as a family. It brings you together. Turn off all electronics, put them aside, no phones, and just be with each other. And, sometimes at first it might not be fun for your family. I don't know how your family is, and sometimes it might be great, but, just start getting together. That's what happens. I've noticed in the past that if my daughter is on her phone too much, on her electronic, she has an attitude. And that means it's time to take that away. And the moment I take that away is the moment her attitude changes. She might be mad at first, but after a while, you know, she starts wanting to be with us, spend more time with us, be with the family and things like that. And she starts doing more chores on her own without asking even, you know what I mean? So just think about that for a minute. You know, sometimes maybe kids just have too much electronics and they just need to step away from that and be with the family.
Yeah.
Especially
That's a good point.
nowadays.
Those are
Especially
good,
nowadays. It's like parents don't even want to be bothered. They're like, please go get on your iPad.
Yeah, go take a walk.
So
Go to the park if it's a nice sunny day. Like you can see outside, like right now, it's a nice day outside.
I know. We all want that sun you
Yeah.
got right there.
Yeah.
Can I say something that I didn't finish because I ran to the
Yeah,
other part
absolutely.
of the, you know, part of the science behind it as well, guys. I just want to tell you another thing that,
Okay.
you know, to finish off what I started.
Did I
want you to.
interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to explain like the commands, right? So, and the reason why is because as I told you, if you have negativity, you know, each thought is attached to an emotion. So everything we just said, you know, comes down to it. It's all good. Is attached to an emotion. So think about if you're saying positive things, right? And I just want to show you how powerful, give you a prime example of how powerful a certain command is. You know, I've heard, you know, and even me, I used to say, you know, I don't want to be here anymore. Okay. And I don't want to live. All right. I'm lying. I'm not saying that to myself. I'm letting you know, you better understand. I'm not talking to me right now. Just had to get that out real quick. Why? Because that's a command you're giving to your body. All right. Yes. And your body will literally begin to shut down. I learned this through a bioenergetic therapist. You know, it's one of the reasons I began to get into this field. I didn't realize it was so important. I didn't realize how critical it was. I didn't understand what happened behind it, you know, and understand that anything you do, you know, you are, you're triggering your nervous system. So that's automatically something being sent to your brain to something. Okay. If you touch something, boom, everything is being sent to your brain to give your brain a message. So it's very important, you know, to know what that exactly means. So if you're saying something positive, guys, understand that that is what you're telling your body you feel, right? Even if you smile, you force a smile on your face, you know, your conscious mind knows that means you're happy. So even if you don't feel good, but you smile, your mind knows that means you're happy. So guess what? It starts releasing dopamine throughout your body. And so you start feeling good. All of a sudden you start feeling good. So,
I've experienced that in another way. I've experienced that in another way a couple of times. And that was when my grandmother was passing and my mother was passing. I had to release them so that they could release themselves, because I'm that kind of person that loves you and wants you here with me forever and ever and ever. And I had to tell my grandmother, you can go, I'll be okay. She was holding on for me. I know she was. Nobody can tell me anything any different, because then she started to go away. And it was almost like, because I would always tell her, Grandmama, you're here for me. You're here for me. I already know she was. And so I had to release her. And the same way with my mom. The hospice nurse came to me and said, your mom says you're not ready. And she was hanging around. And I said, she really tell you that? And she said, yeah, she knows you're not ready. And I'm like, okay. So I had to go over there and have a conversation with her to release her. And 20 minutes later, she was passing. So I'm not saying I had power over them. You guys got to know that's not what I'm saying. But I believe that in their minds, they knew I wasn't ready. And I had to, although I wasn't truly, I had to tell them I was, so that they could then do what they had to do to transition into a better place. Instead of hanging around here with me, I had to make them realize, yes, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna be, go say hi to Daddy and Michael and everybody else that's there. And that's what I had to say to them. And that's what finally allowed them to transition. Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. So on this side of someone else having to do that, yeah, it's very interesting science. All of this is science, you guys.
It really is. It's all energy, guys. It really
And
is.
yeah,
And if you
and
start
when
to
we,
understand the importance of self-talk, then you start to understand how important it is for you to soup yourself up,
mm-hmm,
for you to motivate yourself, for you to make sure,
yeah,
listen, scream. I
yeah,
scream. I'm in the car. I know I look crazy
yeah,
as hell to these
release
people.
that
I'm
stuff.
like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are the best,
yeah,
and then make yourself a mantra.
yeah.
Listen, I know my mantra by heart because I do it every single day. And it's just a reiteration of what you are, of who you are, of what you're striving towards, and of who you represent, as yourself. So,
I want
that's
to
the
say
best I can say.
something back onto the water thing. You guys, when the positive water looked like beautiful crystals, it looks like it was like just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It was gorgeous. And then that's what happens in our brain. I just want to put that together. It happens in our brain the same way. We grow new whatever they're called.
Neurons.
So neurons. Okay, we grow neurons. We grow good, and then when we get the negative ones, they die off. It's a scientific fact. And so when you get that positivity, you guys, it's going to flourish. So continue to do that for yourselves and quit with the negative talk, because it could totally kill you, actually. It could totally stop you from your productivity. It could stop you from your wealth mentality. It could stop you from your living. And we don't want that. Lauren, did you have anything that you wanted to add before we head on off?
I'll just add one more thing to that.
Sure.
When you all are shifting your self-talk, when you all are beginning to believe different things, immediately in the moment, don't believe that because it doesn't immediately manifest then that it's not happening. Because what happens is we don't see the manifestation in the moment and we don't believe it works. That is not true.
It takes
That's
time,
the,
doesn't it?
come on. It takes time. It takes for
Yeah.
you to keep on speaking those things. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't automatically just boom. Now,
Right.
some things will, once you get in the consciousness of speaking to yourself, you'll notice it. But many things won't. Many things takes consistency and time until you begin to believe and you naturally begin to act in that belief.
Right.
Because the speaking allows the acting to take place. The reason why we don't have what we say we want is because we haven't acted upon it. See, I had to act as a world-renowned motivational speaker. I had to act as if I was confident. See, it's I had to be confident,
I love
but I
that.
couldn't be confident if I didn't speak confidence. You hear what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it took me speaking confidence multiple occasions in order for me to actually be confident.
Right.
So speak confident. Speak what you want to be. Speak what you are. And all of a sudden you begin to act as the person you spoke. I'm done.
Love that.
Daily. Do it daily. Do it
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah. You have to, because the moment you stop, those old creepy thoughts are gonna creep back in.
Yeah.
And
Because
you
life
need
keeps
to, like,
happening.
it's
Mm-hmm.
called oh my gosh, circumcising yourself on a daily basis. I know that sounds rough, you guys, but it's true. You have to circumcise your mind on a regular basis. That means cut the dead skin, cut it off. That means cut those horrible things that you say to yourself.
It's harsh,
Cut
Kathy.
it
I'm
off.
just kidding.
Say that again.
That's a little harsh. No, I'm
I
just kidding.
know. That's exactly right. That's 100% correct. That's exactly why I said it. Because that's why we have to do it, you guys. It's that important.
Yeah.
It's that important. You have to circumcise your brain on a daily basis.
Takes discipline, and
It's so much
consistency.
discipline. Absolutely.
I said self-mastery is a lifelong journey, guys. You know, we can only take it, right? We can only take it one step at a time, you know, and this is just a little clue of how you can begin your transformation with beginning to notice your self-talk. Begin to notice that you do say how many negative things you say on a day and changing them. Start with that. That will make a big difference in your life, and you'll begin to notice it within a month. You'll see a tremendous change if you begin to start doing this on a daily.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, this is a fantastic time. I loved it. Loved it. This is amazing. You know, our Wellness Wednesday is all about getting you guys all back into a balance. Okay. So of course, if your mind is in balance and your finances are in balance, your health is going to be in balance. So that's why I say health is wealth every end of every program that we do, because health is wealth. We can't do anything without being healthy, and we can't do anything without money. I mean, let's get to it. So health is wealth. And if you're green inside, you're clean inside. We are going to look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. And thank you for our guests, Sol and Lauren. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
You guys, I can't wait till people call us up and say, you know what, that was amazing. And then we will totally, you know, I am Black and I'm proud, even when they're white. Even when they're white. All right, we'll see you later, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Happy Wellness Wednesday.